Hello everyone, we have my wife Cassie back again.
Hello.
And today we're going to answer some random questions just to help you hear how native speakers talk with each other. But because we are a couple, we talk all the time. So we are using a random question generator to help us think of some topics to talk about. So let's get into it. Let's see what the first question is. Have you ever saved someone's life? Have you ever saved someone's life?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. That's a big question.
Yeah.
I think my dad has saved my life a couple of times. When I fell out, I almost fell out of a car. I was leaning on a door. You know about this story.
I know this story.
And the door almost opened and my dad grabbed me and pulled me back in the car. And the other time was falling under some ice water. So I was stuck under the ice and my dad pulled me out. So I think my dad has saved me twice, but I haven't saved anyone. You haven't saved anyone?
No, I think I've been a pretty safe person.
So
I don't know if anyone's ever had to save my life either. And I think maybe I'm just not in many dangerous situations. So I haven't really had the opportunity to save someone's life. I have been in some dangerous situations, but I think I'm just lucky that I haven't had to save anyone's life.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see what the next question is. What was the best compliment you've ever received?
What was the best compliment you've ever received?
Well, the first one that comes to mind, it's a very stupid thing, but I was very happy when my roommate told me that I'm good at physical comedy. So physical comedy is like making jokes not just with your voice, but with your face and with your body, kind of like Mr. Bean or something. My roommate told me you're good at physical comedy. Because I like joking. I've been told before you're funny. But actually, a lot of people say the best compliments are specific compliments. That's something that's good to remember, isn't it? You know, when you tell someone, oh, you're good at English, for example, they could just be saying that. It doesn't really mean much. But if someone says, your pronunciation is really clear, or your use of present perfect tense is really good. Many students can't do that. You're doing that very well. That sort of feels better. So people tell me sometimes, Liam, you're funny, but when my roommate told me your physical comedy is very good, I felt very flattered. I was like very happy with that.
It's very difficult to answer these questions, I think. I know all of your answers because he talks a lot and he tells me everything. But
I give you a lot of compliments.
Yeah, he always gives me compliments. But
what's the best one?
I don't know. The first thing that came to my mind was actually kind of like it's kind of an embarrassing story because I know that you know this story. And when I was in 8th grade, I liked this boy, and so I asked him out, and I said, "Hey, do you want to be my boyfriend?" And then he just looked at me and he laughed and he said, "No, but that was funny, so you should be a comedian." And I thought it's this thing called like a backhanded compliment, which means that it's something nice, like someone says something nice to you, but in kind of a mean way. There's kind of like a mean meaning behind it. But that was probably the best compliment.
Oh wow!
Because I like it when people compliment me and tell me that I'm funny. I think that's the best compliment that I get.
So both of us kind of think the same thing then, really. Okay, next question. You can read the next question.
Okay. Ooh, what's your favorite piece of clothing you own?
I know you've probably got an answer to this.
Oh yeah,
you go first. You've probably
maybe
got
I can go
things.
get it.
Oh no, just explain.
Okay, I should have worn it. So I got this shirt. It's from a secondhand store, and it's kind of like a 70s style print. And it's just an overshirt, like a button-up short sleeve overshirt, and it's got a lot of different colors. And the collar is a little bit different. It's not like this short, it's a little bit longer. And you can wear it like in the summertime, but also you can wear it in the wintertime because the material is a little bit thicker, but it's short sleeve. So that's my favorite. What about yours?
My favorite. I don't think I have a favorite. Is there something I wear a lot?
Well, my favorite article of clothing of yours is like the blue. It's kind of, Liam wears a lot of shirts like this.
Yeah, like Hawaiian shirts. I do like Hawaiian shirts a lot.
But the other one is a little bit cooler.
Oh, right. Yeah, I like Hawaiian shirts a lot. Not one particular Hawaiian shirt, but I like Hawaiian shirts because they look a bit smarter than a t-shirt. You know, they have a collar and buttons, so they're a bit smarter than a t-shirt, but they're still very comfortable and loose. And they have a lot of like colorful patterns. And, you know, I think that it's a bit more exciting to wear colorful patterns than just wearing like boring, you know, one color or something. So yeah, I like Hawaiian shirts. Okay, let's see. Next question. You can read this one too.
What's the worst movie you've ever seen?
Well, the worst movie would probably have to be something like The Room.
Oh yeah.
But it's so bad that it's actually very good. So this movie, it's The Room, isn't it? Not Room. Because I know there's another movie with a similar title.
Oh, wait a minute. Which one?
With, you know, the guy...
Oh!
What's his name? What's his name again? The director?
Michael something? Wait, no.
What is it? I'll put like a picture or something of it here because we're not doing very well at remember. But we've watched it together. Well, we've watched bits of it together. Basically, there's a very famous. We say this movie has a cult following. So a cult following means like a small group of people love it, but most people don't know about it or don't like it or don't care about it. So this movie was made by a guy who wanted to make his own movie. So he directed it, he produced it, he acted in it. Oh, Tommy Wiseau.
Oh yeah, Tommy Wiseau.
And it's just really bad, but it's so bad that it's actually good. It's actually funny because it's so bad. And that's why it has a big following. And somebody even made a movie about the making of that movie because it has such a big cult following. So yeah, we kind of like bad movies sometimes because they're funny.
It's really funny because it's so bad. I thought you were talking about Room, which is...
Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, it's like someone gets stuck in a room or something.
Well, it's
kind of a serious movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a true story where some girl was kidnapped and she had to like stay in a room for a really long time, just one room. And... you know, she like had a baby in there.
Oh god, that sounds horrible. Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about The Room. Yeah, with Tommy Wiseau. I'll put an image to be clear which one I'm talking about.
So my first choice is Old Boy.
Worst movie? That's like my favorite. I think that's like the best movie. You mean like the impact on you?
Yeah.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
It's like after, well, the whole time I was watching this movie, I feel like my face was just like really like grossed out. And
grossed out means like, oh, I think it's disgusting. Or something.
Yeah, it was really difficult to watch because there's like a lot of just horrible things that happen. It's just horrible the whole entire time. But it's really, really good. It's a Korean movie. And it must be kind of like Squid Game. If you've seen Squid Game, it's kind of like, it's so gross, but you can't stop watching.
Yeah, Old Boy is actually one of my favorite movies. Like the director is amazing, the story is amazing. I mean, the director wrote the story. music, everything about it is very good. But the story is like a very horrible story. So yeah, you have to be in a good mood to watch it, because there's like a very kind of sad, kind of disgusting story.
I almost threw up. And after the movie, I think I couldn't speak, and I just thought about that movie and different scenes of that movie, like, I don't know, over and over for about a week. And I still sometimes think about specific scenes in the movie, and I feel like I'm really traumatized.
But anyway, it's a good movie. All right, let's have a look at the next question. Favorite city. It's hard to choose a favorite city. I've lived in 9 different countries and visited about 30 countries, so I've been to a lot of cities. At the moment, we live in Kobe in Japan, and we like it here. This is one of my favorite cities. Also, Osaka, next to us, that's one of my favorite cities. It's kind of a hard question. What do you think?
It depends on, like, if you're talking about the beauty of the city, or the environment, or like the mood of the city, I guess.
I think if it's like living or visiting as well.
Yeah, whether you're living or you're visiting. I think the most beautiful city I've been to is Prague. It's called Czechia now, but it used to be called Czech Republic. It was just so beautiful. And maybe for living, I really like living in Kobe. Valencia was a really pretty city, I think, but not so good for living. So this is a difficult question to answer.
Well, Valencia was quite...
I mean, it was good for living, but not for us.
Yeah, I mean, some parts of it. We do miss a lot of things about Valencia.
Yeah, really nice park.
Yeah, and nice cafes and things. I think in terms of like really beautiful cities, I do like a lot of European cities, because they have like a lot of old buildings and things. Because, Japan, of course, there's a very long history, but many of the buildings in the past were made of wood, and Japan has earthquakes, so a lot of buildings get renewed or renovated, or just knocked down and built again. So there aren't that many old buildings in Japan.
Kyoto has the most old buildings. It's really beautiful. But
even some of the like older buildings, like the other day we went to a heritage site. It's like a heritage site, isn't it? That in Kobe, the what's it called? Ijinkan?
Ijinka? Kitano?
Yeah, it's like some old kind of European buildings, but they're only about 100 years old, 200 years old. Whereas, I come from the UK, where you can go into a pub and drink a beer, and that building can be 800 years old. And it's not even treated like a really special building. It's just 800 years old, and we're still using it as a pub. So I'm kind of used to very old buildings. And Europe has a lot of like very old buildings. America, still a very new country. They don't have, very old buildings, or Australia or something. So I think Europe has a lot of like very old buildings. So that's why I like European cities a lot. Like Paris is very beautiful. I think sometimes I visit places and I'm a bit disappointed. I think Paris is not disappointing. I think it's really beautiful.
I thought Chiang Mai was really cool in Thailand. I've been to a lot of different cities in Thailand, but Chiang Mai was probably the coolest city for me. You too?
Yeah, I like Chiang Mai a lot as well, I stayed there for a month. I really like it.
Oh, I did too. Well, maybe 2 months, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember. Okay, let's go to the next question.
Okay, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? I ask students this question a lot, actually. It's like a good hypothetical question. It's a good question to use your imagination. But I always ask students, but I never think about my own answer, really.
You know what mine would be? I think about this a lot, and I really wish that it could exist. In video games where you see somebody's like stats, their statistics, like, you know, this is how much power they have, this is their intelligence, this is their like creativity or something like that. I want to be able to see that with humans. Like,
Okay.
like, you
That's a
know,
unique answer.
whenever I meet someone, I want to know what their stats are. Like, so I don't have to like waste my time
Oh.
like talking to people. I want to know, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay.
But that's a unique answer. I haven't thought of that before or
Oh.
heard anyone else say that before. I think one of mine, if I could have a superpower, would just be like to speak every language would be really
that's a
cool.
good one.
I think if you could just speak, all languages, because that would have a real practical use that you could actually use in life. Because if you had an ability, you know, I like Star Wars, so I think, what's it called? Telekinesis, like moving things with your mind would be really cool, like the Jedis do in Star Wars. You know, they can just go, boom, I could move this computer over there without touching it. That would be cool. But if you use that in your daily life, you know, you'd probably be captured by some scientists and they'd do some experiments on you or something. You know, you couldn't really live a normal life if you were moving things around with your mind. You couldn't really do it in front of other people. But if you could speak all the languages, you know, then it wouldn't be so extraordinary. Because no one would know that you spoke. If someone knew you spoke all the languages, then yeah, maybe you would get a lot of attention. But you would only be speaking one language at a time, so people wouldn't know that you actually had a superpower. So I think that would be cool.
Do you feel like you have a superpower?
That's a good.
You have something that not many people can do? I feel like I can tell when people are lying.
Oh yeah, I think that Cassie's superpower is sort of emotional intelligence. Yeah, being able
Oh,
to
you can put it that way.
being able to understand people's emotions and things. I think very good. Sometimes she understands my emotions better than I understand myself. You know, like I'm like angry and she's like, Liam, you're angry because of this thing. And I think, oh yeah, I shouldn't be angry. You're right. You know.
I'm right. Yeah, I feel like it's easy to tell when people are lying. Do you feel like you can tell?
Sometimes, yeah. If I have a superpower, or if I have something that I'm good at, is probably just being motivated, I think. Because
Maybe discipline.
Yeah, I like at the moment I'm studying Japanese a lot. You know, I've always been exercising. There's always been things that I've focused on in life, and whenever I want to do something,
Anybody can do this, right? And anyone can like exercise and study a language, but Liam does it every single day. As soon as he wakes up and until he goes to sleep, just wake up, study Japanese all day, study Japanese until he goes to sleep. And then the next day is the same. I've never seen one day where he didn't study. So once he said, I'm going to study Japanese, then since that day, every single day, he's been studying Japanese. And this was like
4 years ago. Yeah.
So every day for 4 years. And same with exercise too. Like he does at least a little bit of exercise every single day. And yeah, it's really good because then it motivates me. And I feel like I want to like do that too. And so it's easy to have some motivation, but it's difficult to stay disciplined and just continue doing things. So I think that that's his superpower.
Thanks. Yeah, so I just set myself little rules, and maybe this will be a good conclusion for the video. When you're studying English or studying anything, just give yourself rules. So one of my rules is I have to complete my flashcards every day. You know, I use an app for my flashcards to learn Japanese grammar, vocabulary. You know, I have to listen to a few podcasts in Japanese. I have to, watch a video in Japanese, just sort of have a bit of a quota, like a set amount that I want to do every day. And I think that's important to set these kind of little rules or goals for yourself. Okay, so Cassie, do you have any conclusions? Anything you want to say?
I want to
do you want to promote your podcast?
Promote my podcast. So I've been doing a podcast now for almost 6 months. It was my New Year's resolution for this year was to make a podcast just to help English learners. And it's called Easy Natural English with Cassie. So I just stole his name.
Stole my name.
But I do usually one episode every week, and the episodes are between 20 and 30 minutes usually. And I most of the time just talk about more deeper topics, and go into maybe a little bit of psychology, maybe a little bit of social interaction, talking with people, how you can have better conversations, deeper conversations, rather than only talking about the weather or only talking about some kind of surface level stuff. So if you're interested in that, please check out my podcast. It's called Easy Natural English with Cassie.
Yeah, you can find it on any podcast app, and I'll put a link down below. But with podcast, it's normally easier just to search the name because it depends on what app you're using. If I put links, I'll need to put a link for Apple Podcast, a link for Spotify, a link for all the podcast apps. So whatever podcast app you use, just search for Easy Natural English with Cassie. It's easy to remember because it's the same name as my podcast. And it's kind of similar to mine, but she'll be talking about different topics, things that are more interesting for her. And maybe it's a little bit more difficult than mine, do you think?
I don't know.
Maybe
whenever I do say some difficult words, then I will try my best to explain it. And I try to keep it basically like how we were talking today. Mm-hmm. This is how I'm talking in the podcast. So if you were able to understand this, and maybe you want to expand your vocabulary, then the level of my podcast should be good for you.
Okay, well, check it out. And if you haven't listened to my podcast already, then do that as well. Same name, Easy Natural English with Liam, Easy Natural English with Cassie. Thank you all very much for listening today. If this video gets a lot of likes and comments, and it looks like people like this, then we'll do another one like this. So if you liked it, don't forget to like it, to give it click the button there with the thumb, and don't forget to comment, and then we know that you like it, and then we can do another one like this. Or if you have suggestions of another thing you'd like to hear us talk about together, then let us know in the comments and we can do that. So thank you all very much. It's all from me. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.